So I had a chance to jump in and play the Final Stand update, the summer update for Halo Infinite, guys. And a lot of people have been praising this as in talking about the firefight mode that we've had a chance to jump in and play. Got a chance to play around with the Mutilator shotgun, which is a total blast. But I would say after playing this update, it makes me remember about how the live service of Halo Infinite was effectively canceled and how this content right here of these firefight maps were effectively supposed to be the story that was going to continue with Halo Infinite's multiplayer. So basically now forgers are going in and creating the content from the game and putting it into the Halo Infinite 2.5 years later. Well, if you don't believe me about this being cut content being put into Halo Infinite, check out this little clip right here. You see Eratus right here in one of the Forge maps, so showcasing that, like, yeah, that story was supposed to be continued on with this character. And some of you might not remember there was this cut scene that was supposed to be in for season 4 of the Spartans taking care of Eratus here. And it was supposed to be a major point that was, I think it was supposed to try to connect the storyline between the multiplayer from the initial launch of the campaign of Halo Infinite, the multiplayer leading it to the next content drop for the next story mode, which we now know was supposed to be the Rise of Atriox, was supposed to be the first campaign DLC. And these campaign story modes were kind of supposed to kind of be like that connective glue between the two story beats. So then we have at least a little bit of lore to chew into and see how the story progresses. But obviously, once everything was cut back in the early of January of 23, well, yeah, things definitely changed. And you're probably looking at that cutscene like, guys, that's done. Why wasn't it shared? Well, it was a really unfinished product. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
It always ends the exact same way. Death for you and triumph for me.
Together now.
Notice how there is like no external audio, just had the voiceover audio right there. So yeah, like it just wasn't ready, but it was so close to be ready. But again, that's just kind of the tale of Halo Infinite, man. Of it's supposed to be the Halo game that was supposed to be, but never was. Well, let's talk about the actual content that's in the game that you can jump in and play. Like, how is it? Is it actually fun? And it's actually some pretty good stuff. But I definitely could tell that the design of some of these maps and some of the experiences were much more like supposed to be like what the campaign experience kind of stuff was supposed to be for limited time modes, especially for maps like this one right here. This was definitely feels much more like a campaign mission that you can play through rather than like a linear firefight map. Because we had linear firefight maps previously with like Ardent Prayer for that last big firefight update, which was my favorite map in the entire game, or the entire playlist, I should say, and it was great. But when it comes to like something like this, it plays out a little different, right? There really isn't much like a way of boss fights or any kind of crazy moments like that. It definitely feels like it was supposed to be like some major story beats that were supposed to be happening with the way these maps were designed. Like there's this section right here where you walk into like this gigantic crater section. I'm like, why is there a gigantic crater? It looks amazing for given it that it's Forge, but it did a fantastic job of making it work properly. And there's like a little bit of a boss battle, like a chieftain drops right down in the middle of it, which is just a fun little incursion that happened, right? And then after defeating that chieftain, you go through this little tunnel section. And this is where I was like, okay, there's definitely something that's supposed to happen here because it looks very reminiscent, right? Of like the waterways right next to Livefire. And I felt like, okay, maybe in the story that they were going to do for this, that like you're supposed to maybe sneak through and not get detected by enemy AI or something like that. Because right here, it's just a really long jog to the next section. And so I was wondering if like this was supposed to be maybe like how the original campaign, or I shouldn't say campaign, but like the limited time mode tied to the story kind of special playlist kind of thing was supposed to be mapped out. So maybe these forgers out here got a chance to look at what the experience was going to be like for season 4 of Halo Infinite to then never see it actually happen. And I think this was kind of like Halo Studios' chance to finally get a chance to make what they want to have happen come to life in some kind of way and have players enjoy it. I mean, Sketch even mentioned this on his on a recent live stream as well.
Yeah, this is cool. I know there's been talks internally and, honestly for years, there's been a desire to somehow realize this idea of like a battle for the academy. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited that finally able to kind of make it happen, also in partnership with some members of the Forge community.
So did you catch that? He subtly, I think in a way, was saying like, yeah, this was planned for the content you guys were going to play, but obviously cuts and things changed. Like they said in the game, the missions change. They always do. Now the next big thing is the very first original weapon to be added into Halo Infinite's live service 3.5 years later. That being the Mutilator now being playable within Halo Infinite. This has been leaked in the game since like I think launch back when it was just like a couple blocks, and great to see that I finally get added into the game. Now I heard some people say that the Mutilator really isn't that good of a shotgun. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think people are kind of expecting to kind of maybe act like the good old fashioned pump action shotgun with that kind of range. But I think with the gravity hammer at the end of it, it's really designed for you to be like one-shot melee kind of thing. And the melee range on this is very strong as well. It's just a lot of fun. This weapon is just a blast to use. I'm enjoying it a lot. And so like, it's fun that it actually created a full mode dedicated for the Mutilator Madness, which I think is exactly what you need to do when it comes to these kind of experiences. Because like just to jump into, say, like a regular 4v4 Slayer and just kind of hope for a chance to play with Grab the Mutilator, that just doesn't really lend itself to people want to get that instant gratification like I've wanted when I first jumped into play. You get a chance to play with the Juggernaut mode, which can be pretty tricky to kill the Juggernaut because they have just, it's a Juggernaut. They have a lot of shields. Last person gets the last bit of damage on them gets to switch over to that, be able to use the Mutilator, right? But from my experience, it's a ton of fun. I'm glad they at least have a mode for you to get a chance to just jump in and play. Likely you will get a chance to use the Mutilator like within your first round if you're able to kind of keep up with what's happening in the game and stuff like that. It's a ton of fun. I'm loving it. And so I'm glad to see like this guy added in. I would love to see it be much more common within the other maps out there, but again, we just have to wait and see how it truly gets implemented. But yeah, Mutilator, fantastic addition. Finally, like a new weapon. That's crazy to think about. Also have to say big praise for Halo Studios for doing this by adding in more customization options for your weapons, right? The MA5K Avenger, the Mutilator, the Needler, the shock rifle, and the heat wave as well. That's really great. Wish it was there at launch, but hey, we're there now, cool thing here, if you use this specific camo, which is the citrus wash, is the only one that will change the color of your needles in your needler to green. So, pro tip, subscribe for free for more, I guess. I don't know. I will say though, between playing Mutilator Madness and also the Firefight mode, that the XP gains are pretty rough. I can show you an example right here. So this is what, after playing for 2 hours on stream right here, my earned cumulative score right now is just around 1800. Like you really don't get any XP, especially for the battle for the academy out here. So that's definitely one thing I would like to see improve. I don't know why there's like no XP gains within this mode. So just if you're low on boosts, with me I'm like 200 plus. So yeah, I got time to spend, but like don't use your boosts while you're playing the academy mode because you literally just won't make any form of progression like whatsoever. Though I will say with it being like 2 maps that, I mean, there's only so much replayability you can get out of this. I jumped in, like I said, I played it on stream and I had like, 2-3 times we jumped in and played the matches. They were fun, but it's the same thing over and over again, right? There's not really much in the way of variation, which I wouldn't expect there to be a mass amount of variation because it's made in Forge, right? There's definitely limitations with this, but it's just, man, like I said, like I got this feeling while watching the live stream that I talked about it on my previous Halo video, guys, but this one I think really kind of solidified that, like, yeah, this was supposed to be like the narrative event that was supposed to probably accumulate through like this big, huge thing, like defend the academy, but then maybe you ultimately lose and Atriox like gets the signal from Eratus about like where the coordinates are for the Sergeant Avery Johnson like academy and things like that. Dude, it would have been so good. Oh man, we could have been eating so well as Halo fans. But seeing something like this, right, where even though they called it Firefight, it, like I said, it plays much more like a campaign mission, really, which makes me wonder, like, whatever happened to that one like leak that we talked about previously, right, guys, on the channel, saying like, oh my god, like campaign missions are going to be coming to Halo Infinite and you can play them online, which would be amazing. This might be laying that groundwork a little bit, especially when it comes to the networking, scale of these maps and things like that, and have it be like a linear experience. That's where that definitely you would see like this play out much more like a campaign mission. So maybe we could get like those Forge maps of like Silent Cartographer and Assault on the Control Room that were made in Forge for people to jump in and play in matchmaking. Like that would be absolutely incredible. And yeah, it would be more nostalgia, which I'm not a big fan of Halo leaning so heavily into nostalgia, but right now where we're at right now with the Halo franchise and Halo Infinite, it's just kind of what you have to do. But I really need to go back and praise this map, Cold Protocol. Oh my god, you guys nailed it out of the park. It was incredible, especially at the end right here. We had to take out these phantoms that are just dropping enemies on you. Like it's just like it had such a cool, like larger than your typical scale of like AI battles you have within Forge, and kind of create this big experience. Like right here, like you see, like this is the firing range recreated in Forge for this specific mission. Like, this was supposed to happen, guys. This is what we would have had with Halo Infinite, dude. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta stop saying it. I gotta stop thinking it, because the more I talk about it, the more I just get more sad. Also, keep in mind, guys, this is not gonna be the last time Halo community players are gonna be eating good in the neighborhood here. Because with the upcoming seasonal updates right here, with the next one being Legacy, which is gonna be a Halo 3 themed event coming on June 10th, guys. Halo 3 being my favorite Halo, I'm gonna be a little excited about this. And a little unexcited about the next one that's being Reclaimer, which is gonna be on July 8th, which is gonna be Halo 4 themed. And I'm just like, Halo 4, does it have to be just like, no. Actually, no joke. It would be kind of fun if they just decided to make like in Forge, like Halo 4's classic multiplayer with like kill streaks and everything, but make it within Forge and maybe just find a way to tweak the gameplay to be like fun. Because like there's definitely, because it's still a Halo game, so there's a core there that's still really enjoyable. But me, Halo 4's multiplayer did not click with me like at all. Not a fan. And plus, like, look at these armor sets coming into the game. Like, yeah, dude, this is something that we all definitely are going to be grinding for. To get some classic Halo 3, even some of these Halo 4 armor sets, like this Photis one. I know a lot of people love to be a special little unicorn in the game, so people are going to be very excited about that as well. So stay tuned to the channel for when those updates go live. We'll talk about it, we'll play them, and just make content and share the experience with you guys. If you guys made it this far in the video, I hope I earned your like, maybe even a subscribe possibly. And if you want to be the real ones that show in the comments who made it to the end of the video here, guys, leave a green Master Chief heart. Let me know who made it to the end of the video here. I will like your comment. I swear I will. And also, if you guys missed any content from me recently, you got a video right here talking about my final thoughts on Marathon's Alpha and how I really feel like Bungie missed the mark on that one. But thank you guys all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.